Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how you can register your athlete for sports either at Bueker Middle School or Marshall High School through the PRIVIT app on your iPhone. I don't know if this is available on Android. I'm assuming it is, but I could be wrong. But if you do have an iPhone, you can click on the App Store and you just want to search down at the bottom for PRIVIT. This is a website that allows us to track all of our athletes' information, insurance, emergency contacts digitally. That way we don't have to carry paper copies, and we can always have quick access to your child's documents if we need to get a hold of you in an emergency situation. So you can see here PRIVIT. Mine says open because I already have it downloaded on my phone. See these others down here that say get. So you'll have to hit get if yours isn't downloaded yet, but you can open it up. It's going to take you to this site. If this is the first time you are registering a member of your family for this purpose, you'll have to create an account. You can see right here, sign up now. Now, I already created a kind of a dummy account, so I'm going to act like I'm just going to cancel this out. But it's pretty similar. Now, I just created a random person here with a dummy email address. This isn't actually a real student. Whoops, 6789. And so you'll enter your email address, except use your real email address. Don't make a dummy one like I did. And then I just made a kind of a fake account here to show you. But you'll obviously want to use your real information. And then you'll log in. And it will ask you to create a user. You want to use your name, your parent or guardian, whoever you are. Make your name first. And so here I've created Joey Random. That is going to be my parent. So I'm going to put that person is already in there. If you want to, let me go back really fast. If you want to add a user, you can add any of your children. And then obviously if you have multiple children who are all part of Marshall schools, you can add as many as you need. And the cool thing about this is it'll let you copy and paste some of the information. So we're going to create a student here. I'm just going to, put Bobby. And just to avoid confusion, I'm going to put student on here just so you realize this is the student account. We'll just make a fake birthday there of, 2003. And we'll do gender, male. And enable login is, you can make that green if you want your child to have access to log in. Some parents want to do that, some parents don't. Some parents want to have all the information on their own, and they don't really need their child to log in. So then I'm going to hit save down at the bottom. And I apologize, my phone isn't the fastest. And then you want to add a group. There's actually a text reminder about it. You want to add a group. Which group is your child a part of? And you saw it was already on my screen. I think I accidentally had it on there and then I deleted it. You're going to search for Marshall High School. Even if your child is a student at Bueker Middle School, you're still going to do Marshall High School because all of our accounts are under the same umbrella of Marshall High School. So there is no Bueker Middle School account. You have to search for Marshall High School. And then there's obviously more than one Marshall High School in the United States, so you're going to pick the one that's in Missouri. You're going to add yourself to that group, and that will get you registered in our system. And there it goes. It's going to take a while, at least on my phone. Now it's going to ask you which one of your accounts is the actual, it's actually going to belong to Marshall High School. So you can see the student is the actual athlete. My parent account up here is not for the actual athlete. So I can make this green, and then I can see, I can choose the role. Obviously, Joey Random is going to be my parent. So I'm going to choose parent for that. And I'm going to hit update. It is important to make sure you mark which one is the parent. And then the other one will obviously be the student account. I think you can mark that person as a student or not. Okay, so now here we have our student. You can see this is the student's name, and we have Marshall High School. That is good. This green or orange bar says I'm incomplete. When I get finished, it should say complete, and I don't know if I'll have time to do all of it on here because it'll take a while. And so you have these 4 sections. I may not fill out all of it because it just does get kind of lengthy, and to be honest, it's kind of self-explanatory. But here under personal information, this will probably be the most straightforward and the most simple of the documents to fill out. So you have these general areas, your personal information, your insurance information, which is very important, your family physician, if you have one, and if you don't have one, that's okay, and then emergency contacts, which is also very, very important in here. So just for the sake of your all's knowledge here, I'll go ahead and fill out the personal information. Now, obviously, this is not going to be real information. I'm going to be making it up, and in your case, you'll want to give the real information. But this will give you kind of an idea of how it works. So here it's already got my child's information in here. It's saved my birth date, my address. I'm just going to make up, obviously, a fake address. You can put, obviously, the accurate information for you. The ones that are in orange and have the little asterisk, the little star by it, are mandatory. You have to fill those out. The options that are in just kind of black font, you don't have to fill them out. Those are optional, so you can fill those out if you want, but you don't have to. So I'm just going to do the ones that are required. I'm going to put in our zip code. I'm going to just keep it as United States. Phone number, obviously I would put in my real phone number. I'm just going to make up a fake phone number for the sake of this account because it's not a real one. And then you can put in other phone numbers, like if you have a work phone and a cell phone, or even if you had like, your phone and then your wife's phone, your husband's phone, your grandparents, someone else that you could call. There'll be other opportunities to put that in there too, but you could put it in this section if you wanted. So when you're done, you're going to hit save down there at the bottom. It does take a little bit, especially if your phone's kind of old. It'll tell you if it's successful or unsuccessful. And if it is unsuccessful, it'll tell you why, and then hopefully you can go back and fix it. So that was the first section, personal information, not too tough. The insurance is very important. I'll go ahead and go on it pretty quickly. Your child has to have a proof of insurance to make sure that they are eligible to practice. We cannot let anybody practice if they don't have their insurance information turned in. Even if you did your physical at the high school, that's not all that you need. We have to have this insurance information. A lot of you have this on the insurance card through your work. And so you would put in your policy number right here. It could be an ID number or a policy number. Sometimes it's down here as a group number. If you don't have one of these, maybe you just have a group number, or you don't have a group number, you just have like an ID number. If you don't have both, like say you don't have a group number, you can just put NA or not available or something in there. It shouldn't get mad. But I would assume most of you have like an ID number and a group number. That's at least how my insurance card is. The effective date, whenever your insurance goes into effect, whether that's January 1 or whether it's July 1 with the new fiscal year. And if you're not sure, it's not a big deal. But I believe most of them are July 1 or January 1. The company name, that would be like Blue Cross Blue Shield. That would be United Healthcare. That would be Anthem. That would be Medicaid or Missouri Health or Missouri Care, whatever. I can't remember the name of it's Medicaid or Medicare, one of those two. The phone number that has the asterisk on it, there might be a phone number on the back of your insurance card, like usually a 1-800 number or a 1-888 number if we need to get a hold of Blue Cross Blue Shield or one of those organizations for a claim. I've never had to actually mess with that number before. This address and city and state is optional. You really don't need that. And then you can change the subscriber. Like if this is under, like if your child has his own account, you could click this little button right here. I'm not going to click it because it'll refresh my page. But you could click this little thing right here, and it, like if your child has their own special account and their own coverage, you could click that. If it is, if your child is covered under underneath the parents' insurance, you can put, your name, and you could put mother, father, grandfather, whoever, grandmother, whoever they have and then your company, like if it's through, Cargill or Excel or Walmart or whoever, or excuse me, I messed that up. Down here, you could put their relationship with it. So anyway, I'm not going to go into too many details on that. I'm going to go ahead and just hit back. It's going to say that I didn't save it, and that's okay for me, but you'll want yours to go all the way through and be saved. And then you'll do the same thing with these other sections. The family physician, if you have one, you can put their name down there. If you don't have one, there's this place that you can hit NA for not available. I'll just show you that really quickly. But if you have a family physician that you go to and that you trust, go ahead and put their name down. But if you don't have a regular physician, you can just, I'll show you here. You can just click that right there, and that will kind of complete the form for you if you don't have someone, because I know not everyone has a doctor that they see regularly or would consider their family physician. It does take a while sometimes for the page to refresh whenever you do that, but there it's saved, and so I'm just going to hit save down at the bottom to indicate that I'm done, and that should mark that section as complete, and I hope I get a little pop-up notification here. So anyway, these first sections, there it is, pop-up notification that I'm good. These first sections are a little bit tedious. They aren't the most difficult things to do. They're just kind of tedious. And especially whenever it takes a while to refresh, it can be kind of time consuming. So my insurance still shows incomplete because I didn't fill it out. Emergency contacts, you have to have at least one emergency contact other than like the parents, whether that's a grandparent, a family friend, a next door neighbor, someone who we would call if something happened like at practice and we said, hey, we had to take your kid up to the trainer because he or she rolled her ankle, or we think there might be an accident, we had to take them to the emergency room, they broke their arm or something, or hey, we just need someone to come pick up your child because the bus got back early and we're sitting here waiting for him. So here you have to put in at least one name and one relationship. Their contact information, if it is, like, say it's the mom and the dad. If it's your information, you can just hit this little button right here that says same as personal, and it'll copy down your address and all the stuff we typed in earlier, which is kind of cool. But if it is somebody different, like a grandparent or just a family friend, you can put in their information, put in their phone number, and it has room for up to, I think, 3 contacts. So if you want to add a different person, right here underneath contact 2, you could put their name, their relationship, their information, and their phone number, and you can even put a third, but you don't necessarily have to do 3. Let's say you only wanted 1 or you only wanted 2. Whenever you get to maybe you only wanted to put 2 emergency contacts, you didn't need a third one, you could hit this NA button and make that green, and then it would take all this other stuff down below and get rid of it, so that way you wouldn't need it anymore. So I'm going to act like I filled that out. I know I obviously didn't, but that's pretty self-explanatory, and hopefully you guys can get that information in there. So these first 4 sections, just kind of basic information, hopefully won't be too challenging. The only thing that I think is kind of confusing is on the next section. So we're going to act like we filled out all 4 of these. All 4 of these should say complete in green. Obviously on my account they don't, but on yours they hopefully will. And now I just hit the back arrow, and it should load the next part of the home screen here. It should load up those other sections that I haven't filled out yet. I want to show you how you can sign the forms, because that's the part that's a little bit confusing. And sometimes my phone gets stuck like here on this screen, and it looks like it's not actually loaded, but it is. You can see here I'm not done. If your bar is green all the way, whoops, sorry about that. If your bar is green all the way to the end, that's your clue that you have done a good job and you have finished the personal details. So I'll do a quick refresh on these other ones. The forms is the one that I think is a little bit challenging. I kind of had an issue with it, so I'm going to go ahead and click the forms. When I was practicing earlier before I recorded this video, I kind of messed up on the forms, so if I mess up again, I apologize. So these are all the forms that Marshall High School, the Marshall School District has created that you have to sign in order for your child to be 100% cleared. We have a commitment form, a trainer form, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to hit that, that gives our high school trainer, Miss Diane Schlusselman, gives her the opportunity to help your child on the sideline if he or she is hurt in a contest or a practice. We've got emergency contact information, which is kind of redundant because we put it in on the other one. Concussion materials, which are required. Parent permission form. Then the pre-participation history form, which is part of the physical form. And then the student agreement. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory. Let me just show you. I'll do the first one, the activity commitment form. And I'm going to hit start. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. If you try to open this up and if you get to this point and you hit view, and it doesn't work for you and you get an error message, I think you need to go back and make sure that you have designated the parent on your user accounts. So here it is. Here's the form. It just says you're just agreeing that you're participating in MISHA, Missouri High School Activities Association. We're governed by the rules. We've read the handbooks. We know we have expectations for sportsmanship, citizenship, scholastics, drug and alcohol use, tobacco use, obviously, is not allowed. You're going to be responsible for equipment and return it. If your equipment gets lost or broken, you may have to be held liable to pay for replacements. You might get injured. Participation includes the risk of possibly getting hurt. You're not going to sue the school if your son or daughter does get injured. Anyway, some of this legal stuff. And if you agree to it, you hit OK down at the bottom. And now this is where I get confused. I don't know why it did that. I'm going to hit the child account. I don't know why it did this. Sometimes it gets kind of weird on these. So I'm going to hit Marshall again. I'm going to see if I did it wrong. I might have needed to go to the parent account. I don't know why it did that. It should have taken me to a place where I could have signed the document. Before I submit it, I really need to sign it. So let me hit Forms again. So that kind of confused me there. Let me see if I did that right. Oh, it says incomplete again. All right, let me hit Start. I might need to be on the father's account, on the parent account to do this. I feel like that might have been my mistake, but we'll learn together here. So I'm gonna hit View. I'm gonna go a little bit quicker. I won't actually. Okay, so I'm gonna hit OK. You know what? I got to hit Save down here. Maybe I didn't do that before. I'm gonna hit Save. At least I think I hit it. Okay, there it is. Your document has been saved. What would you like to do? Just reading it and hitting saved isn't good enough. You actually have to sign it with a digital signature. And you have to sign it with your parent account and with your child's account. And so I'm going to go ahead and put both of those as green. I want to sign it with both the parent and the child. Now, I don't believe they have signatures yet, unless it saved them from when I was messing on here earlier. It should pop up here and tell me, here it is. Your document has been saved and is ready for Bobby's signature. I need to create a signature because I don't have one. And so here it is. I'm going to hit Create Signature. And this is really awkward to do on your phone. But I'm just going to do the best I can. Bobby S. There you go. And it says, as the parent and guardian of Bobby, I confirm that the signature is valid and I consent to use that on the rest of a document. So I'm going to make sure that's green, and when it's green, I'm going to hit the little Save Disk, and that should now apply his signature to this document. And I'll give it a second here, and if it saves it, great. If not, I'm going to hit the Save button again down below. I think that I might have to hit Save one more time. So now I'm going to hit Save down at the bottom. And now once we have created that signature, save document already exists. Sorry, I guess I got too excited and hit the button too many times. So I'm going to hit this little arrow at the top and just go back. You'll know you've done it right if it has both your signature and the child's signature. Now it says the student athlete signature is required. Okay, so let me hit Sign. Now I have to apply signature. This can be kind of tricky. I think okay, successfully submitted. There we go. You didn't actually see the part of me creating the parent signature as well, but it'll be just exactly like what we did for Bobby's student. You would do the same thing for the parent. And from here on out, you should be able to do this on all of the forms. Like, for example, if I go way down here to the concussion materials and I hit Start, I'm not going to actually have to sign my name again. It's already got that saved in the system, and now I'll just be able to toggle that little switch over to green, and it should automatically apply my signature and my son or daughter signature as well. So here it is. This is the concussion materials. You can view it if you want. They're right here. I'm not going to read it word for word for you because it is pretty lengthy. At least the document was the last time that I looked. And you can see this. If I click that link, it'll take you to a website that has a video. You can even click on that. Oh no, maybe you can't. Oh yeah, there it is. I knew there was like 7 pages of concussion information. Very important. This is a return to play form that a doctor would fill out if your child was a person who sustained a concussion. That would kind of outline, here's the procedures we're going to follow. It is very important stuff. I don't want to just gloss over that like it's nothing, because it is not. And so anyway, this says I'm going to accept responsibility for reporting my injuries. I'm not going to try to hide them from the coach. I've received and read the materials. I'm going to tell my school trainer, coach, whoever it is, if I feel like I have symptoms that might be a concussion or a head injury. And so I make all those green. I hit save down at the bottom. And I hope I hit it. It looks like the little thing is spinning up here at the top of my screen. And it should. Okay, it's got it saved. Now I'm going to sign it. Now the cool thing is, since I already have the signatures created, I can just hit this, and I can hit sign, and it will automatically apply that signature. I think I hit it. There we go. And it's going to automatically apply those signatures. I don't have to do that awkward signature with my finger on the phone anymore, because that obviously didn't look super professional, but for our sake, it will work. So that's basically how you'll sign all these forms. The one that's kind of annoying is the emergency contact one. You have to fill out everything again. So there it is. It's successfully submitted. It takes a little while sometimes for it to register, especially if your phone isn't the newest like mine. I have an iPhone 6 or 6S or something, so mine's not the quickest out there. But anyway, you'll go through all these forms. The parent permission form, you put your insurance information in that one more time. The pre-participation history form is that 50-question checklist, like have you ever spent the night in a hospital? Has a doctor ever told you couldn't play a sport? It's those kind of like your health history form that you might have filled out with your doctor when you got your physical. The student agreement just says you're going to follow the rules, you're going to be respectful and responsible with your equipment and towards officials and adults, and blah, 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 blah. You'll get all those green. When you get all those green, you're almost done. I'm almost done with this. Sorry, this is going to be kind of a lengthy video, but this is kind of a complicated process. So this should load back to the home screen here. And there it is, Bobby Student. That's my student's account. And I've got the Marshall Owls logo there. It's taking its sweet time loading the main page, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And I feel like it's stuck, but it's really not. It'll pop up here in a second. It should show me those 4 screens, or those 4. Here it is. My bar still says incomplete, but if you were doing this correctly, you would have the details all the way green. The forms would say complete. Teams. Now, it's not if your child doesn't know exactly what teams he or she wants to be a part of, that's okay. You can always update this throughout the year. But if you know for a fact they're definitely going to do a certain sport, even multiple sports, you can go ahead and click multiple sports here. So we have these separated. You've got 7th grade boys basketball, all these in 8th grade. We have some of them that are just middle school, like middle school cheerleading is all together. The high school ones are on here as well. It's in alphabetical order, all the way down to volleyball and wrestling at the bottom. So maybe you know your son or daughter definitely wants to do middle school soccer, so you would click that. I'm not going to click it because this is just a fake account. But if you thought, okay, well, they definitely want to play football and they're in 7th grade, I'm going to click 7th grade football, right? And then you're just going to click whatever teams you feel like they're going to be a part of. Now I'm going to go ahead and take them off of there because this is just a fake account, and so they're going to tell me they deleted my name. And so anyway, you'll sign up for whatever teams, and that's it. There's no that one takes you about 20 seconds. And then when you go back to the home screen again, there should be one more section left, and that is to actually upload documents. The only document that you have to upload is the actual physical that the doctor signed. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, wait a second. I did my physical at the high school. They took the paper. I never received it. That's okay. If you're in that situation, either myself at the middle school or Taylor Thomas at the high school will be able to upload your physical onto your account. But if you actually have a copy of your physical, I will show you how you can upload that. Okay, so we're going to act like at this point your personal details is complete. The form should say complete. The teams, see how mine says complete above teams. Documents, you're going to go here. And if you have your physical, say you just got it taken over the summer, remember this physical had to have been conducted after February 1st of 2020. If you had a physical done before February 1st of 2020, unfortunately it is not going to work. All right, so this is going to show all the forms you've already signed. On your page, you should have a lot more forms because remember, I didn't fill out all of them. I just filled out 2 of them. But if you want to add your physical, you're going to go up here to the right-hand corner where you see the plus sign. You're going to click the plus sign because you want to add a document. You want to add this form. It's the MSHA physical form. We have to have a copy of this. So I'm going to hit OK. And if you have it with you, you can just take a picture of it. If you don't have it with you, I would just maybe email me or email Taylor Thomas, and we can get it in the system for you. I'll show you how to do, or tell you my email address here in a minute. But I'm going to act like I already have it. I took a picture of like a fake physical here. So I'll ignore all that. Okay, so this is the actual form that you want, right? I know some of your physicals have multiple pages. This is the page that's the most important. To be honest, the other pages aren't quite as important. It's this page because this is the page, if I scroll down here at the bottom, where your doctor has to check whether you are cleared, not cleared, cleared with recommendations, and you have your doctor's signature right down here at the bottom. The name of the physician, the date, all of that is on there. And so that is super important, and that is what we need. And so I'm going to choose this, and whoops, I'm going to cancel that. It didn't actually get the doctor's signature in there. Let me try again. It looked like my document was just a little bit too big, and so I had to, let me try that again. Okay, so can I make it smaller? No. I wish I could get it to scroll down there. All right, whatever. I'm going to make sure that I have I don't know if I can make it small enough to where I can see the name and the signature, but you definitely need to get that signature in there. I wish I could get the whole thing in there, but for whatever reason, it's not cooperating. But anyway, I'm going to scroll it up there. I'm going to hit OK. If you have trouble with that, you might have to just kind of mess around with it and maybe not, maybe I was zoomed in too far when I took the picture, I guess. I just took a picture of a blank one. Obviously, yours will not be blank. If you upload a blank one, like sometimes people accidentally upload an incorrect form or they upload the wrong page, it's okay. And here you can add more pages. If you want to put all the pages in there, you can do that, but it's really not necessary unless you just really want to. We really just need that page that has the doctor's signature and all that I just showed you. All right, so when that is on there, you can see it's right here, MSHA physical form. You should be good to go. I'm going to hit back. And I think it should say complete for that section now. And then I believe we should be almost in the clear, and I can be able to wrap this up. I know this is probably about 30 minutes. And that's probably wearing on some of you guys, but I apologize. So that's basically it. The cool thing about this program is having this PRIVIT system. We always have access to your child's information. If something were to happen, there was an emergency, we can immediately pull up your name, pull up your information. If we had to take somebody to the hospital, we could have the insurance information right there on hand, and we could get it to the people who needed it in the emergency room or wherever we needed to go. So you can see, my documents say incomplete. Don't really know why. Maybe just because I don't have them all in there. I probably shouldn't have clicked on that because that's going to take a long time. I'm going to go ahead and hit... it says my physical form is not signed. Not available. You know what? It probably just says that it's incomplete just because I don't have all the documents in there because, remember, I didn't fill them all out. But anyway, that's definitely the one you need to upload if you have it. If you don't have it, I would just send an email to Taylor Thomas, TThomas@marshallowls.com if your child is at the high school, or you can send it to me, Travis Reed, Treid, Treid @marshallowls.com, and just say, hey, I created a profile for my student, and just tell me what the name of your child is. They did their physical at the high school. Can you upload a copy of their physical? Because I have it. And if you actually want a copy of it, you don't have one for your own records, you can just tell me that too, and I can take a picture of it and I can email it to you, no problem, because I have all of them on me right now during the summer. So anyway, I think that's about it. If you do this correctly, you should have personal details, should say complete. That bar will not be red, it'll be green. The forms should say complete. The teams should say complete. The document should say complete. Incidents, I don't really know what that is. I'm not going to mess with it right now. I don't think that's really super important. And then this orange bar in the middle that says incomplete, it should change to pending, I believe is what it says. Pending, and that means either myself or Ms. Thomas at the high school or Ms. Niemeyer at the high school. We have to go through and we just double check to make sure that everything is uploaded correctly. Make sure you didn't just upload a random document instead of an actual physical form. Some people make a mistake and upload something incorrectly. And then we give the final approval and we say, yes, this person has everything submitted, and then it'll change to approved or completed, and it'll turn green. So anyway, if you can get this to where it says pending, you are in great shape. And then it's up to me or Ms. Thomas or Ms. Niemeyer at the high school to get it finally approved and in the system. So I think that's about it. I hope I didn't mess it up. You can swipe to the left here and you can see, you can go back to your home page if you need to. Like if you had another child, maybe you have somebody at the high school and then you have a child at Bueker, you can even add another student. Maybe you had, I didn't want Dixie, I wanted Susie, but okay. You can even add your other children on here, and you could change their, birth date or whatever you needed. So you could add another student on here if you needed to, and you could put all of your children's accounts under your name. That way you don't have to worry about all of them trying to log in. You can do it for them, and it'll actually copy a lot of the information over. So like your name, your address, all your emergency contacts, you can transfer a lot of that over, and you can just add her or any other children all under your account, which is kind of cool about this, because then you just need one account and you can have all of your children taken care of, and you don't need to worry about remembering everyone's accounts every single year, or in a few years when you have a person who graduates, but then you have another one coming up through 6th and 7th grade. You have to remember to do it all over again. So that's basically how you could do it. You can add anyone else to your account. I don't know why it's kind of not working here for Marshall High School. But anyway, you can go back. You can go over here and you can check out your users. You can add more users. You should be able to, like if you had 3 or 4 children, you should be able to get them all into the system, all under your name. So let's see, there you have your users, your 2 children. And then if I really needed to do stuff for Susie, I could go in and I could do Susie's stuff as well. So I think that about wraps it up. I hope this works for you. If you're having a rough time and you are really frustrated and it's not working, instead of ripping your hair out or throwing your phone or getting upset, just send me an email at treid, Treid @marshallowls.com, and I would be more than happy to help you. If you're really not doing that well with it, or you would rather that you sit down with me and do it sometime face to face, there were a bunch of parents last year who I sat down with in the Bueker Middle School library, and we kind of knocked it out together. It takes about 30 minutes tops. And I'll be more than happy to help anyone who needs that help. So anyway, that should be everything I think you need. If you have a hard time, just shoot me an email, and hopefully this can get your child registered for athletics at Marshall High School or Bueker Middle School. All right, thank you all so much, and have a good day.